Hey everyone, welcome once again to another episode of Two Noobs Talking. It's episode 108. And with me, of course, are my two good friends, John Tracy and Steve Murray. I am Matt Craig. We are happy to have you with us. Gentlemen, as we record, it's game 3 of the NLCS. Phillies up right now. Crossing fingers they hold on. But it's been up and down, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But John, how you doing, man? What's going on? What's happening with you tonight? I'm doing all right.
Watching the Phillies game, doing this podcast.
Doing a combination of both those two things. Love it.
A little bit of both.
Yeah. Steve, having come back from another ice hockey adventure with his son. Steve, how you doing, man? How are you this evening?
I have a prepared statement.
Oh,
Nice.
Go for it.
Okay, here we go. If you want to see your Chihuahua again, leave $10,000 in unmarked 20. Wait, that's not the right. That's not the right one.
Not the right one. Mm-hmm.
That you didn't hear that one.
No.
Okay. Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. Here we go. All right. Here's the real statement. Cowboys suck. End of transmission.
Nice.
Nice indeed. Nice indeed. Oh
Hey,
man.
let's hope that the Phillies finish them off in 5, because if they have to go back to San Diego, Kyle Schwarber will be arrested for murdering a baseball in the first inning.
Yes.
What's really amazing about that too, after he destroyed that baseball and sent it to Mars, he wears number 12. What I didn't realize too was Matt Stairs also wore number 12 back in the day, and which was a really cool thing. And they're both left-handed hitters. I was like, that's pretty freaking cool. I mean, that's just unbelievable that they wore the same number in that regard. But yeah, that was a titanic home run, man.
Yes.
It was. And the fan who caught the ball is lucky they didn't just catch a ball of yarn at that point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's so true.
exactly.
I did like how schmucky John Smoltz tried to say it was 120 out, but the idiot play-by-play guy was like, nope, 119.7 because they can't give us anything.
We always have to know tenths of miles per hour in the exit
because
velocity.
it didn't matter. It was the 4th hardest home run hit. They needed to put that. It's only 119.7. It wasn't 120. But you flashed 120 on the screen 4 times.
Yeah. And what's great about, like, if you go to, like, the MLB Network and you listen to, like, a guy like Mark DeRosa, like, I would much rather have him on talking exit velocity or whatever the case may be, as opposed to,
he actually knows what it is.
119.7. He actually knows what it is. Yeah, exactly. Oh, my gosh.
I tend to, in baseball, I tend to listen to the guys that hit the ball talk about hitting the ball, and the guys that throw the ball, the ones that used to throw the ball. It helps to understand the game of baseball a little bit better when you listen to the professionals.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Johnny, I hear you got another fun fact for us there, bud. What do you got?
Yes, I've got a Batman fact that I did not know was actually real until I looked it up. So, do you remember Gomez from the Addams Family?
Mm-hmm.
The character or the actor?
Yes, the actor. The actor.
Okay,
The
which actor are we
actor.
talking about?
John Gershom. Yeah.
Oh, so you're talking about the show.
No, John.
Show
Yeah,
Addams
John Aston.
John Aston, yep.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. He filled in for the Riddler in the 60s for 2 episodes.
Oh my
I think I knew
gosh. Wow.
I thought I did too, but then when I saw it, I was like, I don't remember that at all. Like,
I think I remember it. I think I remember it. He filled in for Frank Gorshin, right?
Yep. And Matt, if you'll throw the picture of him up on the screen as the Riddler, right here.
Let's do it.
It's it's interesting. He definitely does not look like the Riddler that was the Riddler. He looks like the dude from Addams Family playing the Riddler. That's exactly what he looks like in this picture.
Now, I have not seen the new Batman. I understand that the Riddler was the main antagonist of that movie one of us, I believe, has seen that movie.
I have not.
Mr. There you go. Okay, so that leaves Steve. What was your impression, without giving spoilers, what was your impression of the Riddler as the antagonist of that movie, real quick?
I thought he was good. I thought he did a good job. Probably could have used a little more of him. It's, he plays a lot hiding. He's leaving messages for Batman, so you don't see him a lot. And in that way, you kind of feel deprived, kind of like in Skyfall, with the bad guy in that movie. He was just so good, you wanted more of him, but you didn't get that much of him. It was sort of the same thing. He was really good, but you didn't get enough time on screen time.
Yeah,
it was unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a shame. I'll have to watch that down the road. Obviously, I haven't had a chance to get out there.
It was different, but it was different.
Different. Okay,
yeah.
That's what I hear before. Yeah, definitely different from all the others. So yeah, we'll see. All right, guys. Well, topic one, shall we? And as we dive in, we have a headline here from Yahoo.com and also through Reuters. Pfizer, our friends, who generously created the COVID-19 vaccine.
Generously.
Generously. Yeah, generously.
Through emergency order and billions of dollars from the government, yes.
Yeah,
generously.
Exactly, yeah. Generously, yeah. They're expecting to hike the U.S. COVID vaccine price up to $130 per dose, gentlemen. It's a roughly quadrupling of the price of its COVID vaccine after the United States government current purchasing program and quota expires. And apparently this is the vaccine currently provided for free to all by the government will be made available at no cost to people who have private insurance or government paid insurance. Just an FYI on that. Reuters early.
There is a cost. You're just paying for it through your insurance premium rather than.
Yes.
Get ready for your high deductible health plan to go up a little more. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Reuters earlier on Thursday reported that Wall Street was expecting such price hikes due to weak demand for COVID vaccines, which meant vaccine makers would need to hike prices to meet revenue forecasts for 2023 and beyond. How about that, gents? John, go to you first.
Surprised.
Your thoughts. Not surprised? Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all. Well, maybe if every celebrity and every politician didn't whore over this vaccine for the last year, there wouldn't be a low demand. And they wouldn't have to raise the price. Because that's really put offy when you the next at the Oscars. Hey, by the way, did you get vaccinated? No, on to the next presentation. If you do that for a while, you're going to annoy people to where they're not gonna even follow sound medical advice or any. They're just gonna get me away from it because it's that ripple effect of too much is too much.
Yeah, oversaturation is really,
and that's what they did. And that's what they did.
Absolutely.
And they just like everything else, they handled it poorly. Now, this is what we're dealing with.
Yeah, exactly. Around 14.8 million people in the U.S. received a booster shot over the first 6 weeks of the rollout of the new shots, of course. In the first 6 weeks of the 2021 revaccination campaign, that's code for quota in government speak, over 22 million people received their third shot, even though only older and immunocompromised people were eligible at that point. Interesting sentence there. Steve, your thoughts on all of this? I mean, with this rollout, it's kind of like now that that's over and done with, you're not surprised either of the price going straight up.
No, right? And here's why. Back early on when the vaccines were first available. Well, no, I should say, I guess not when they're first available, but when they first started talking about boosters, whether or not they would be needed. And I saw a report, and I think it was Pfizer. I don't think it was Moderna. I think it was Pfizer. It was from the Motley Fool, they do a publication that's financial news. And they reported that Pfizer stock was going to take a dip because people were out there saying, well, you're probably not going to need a booster. You can go without it. And so Pfizer stock, like, well, people aren't going to need boosters. There it goes. Very next week, what do we hear? Oh, yeah, you're going to need a booster. Isn't that a shock?
Isn't that a shock?
It took me a while to figure out, Matt, what you were talking about when you meant a quota. And this is exactly it. They didn't meet that quota, so now Pfizer's got to jack the price up so they can get the money they were expecting from selling all the doses that they eventually did not sell. So this doesn't shock me in the least. They did not develop a vaccine out of the kindness of their heart. They did it because they could get paid, and now they're trying to dig in even more.
Yeah, they didn't do it out of the kindness of their heart. I'm shocked by that. I'm totally shocked. By the way, gents, also in this article, the U.S. government currently pays around $30 per dose to Pfizer and also BioNTech. In 2023, of course, the market is expected to move to private insurance after the U.S. public health emergency expires, which I think should be now, because we've kind of gone back to normal.
It kind of already happened, but apparently there's a contract.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, obviously, with the two of you in regards to this. I would not be surprised if the same thing were to happen with Moderna and Johnson & Johnson and all the other pharmaceutical industries out there that are currently working on their vaccines. Maybe didn't take advantage of the emergency use authorization. I don't know. I only knew of 3 manufacturers in big pharma.
There's a couple pill forms out there. There's a couple. There's a couple single dose pill forms, multiple dose pill forms. There's a bunch of companies are involved in this in some sort of way. But you'll probably say, but they're so late to the game. I don't know if that's going to even matter.
It just occurred to me there's another reason. Fatigue with it, I'm sure, plays a huge role. But there's another reason that the demand is far less, which is, the latest round of COVID that went around basically evaded the vaccine. So I could see more people thinking, well, what's the point now? It's not as harmful as it used to be, and it's
when everybody gets sick, and you've got 10 unvaccinated friends and 10 vaccinated friends, and everybody gets sick at the exact same time. People are going to start talking amongst themselves and be like, "Wait a minute, this isn't what this was said to be." You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I know every time around came, I got sick somehow. Not deadly, thank God. Not bad, but every time they were saying something comes around, of course, it happens. But I'm still standing here.
This is the reason. This is the reason they can't do a vaccine for the common cold. People for years were like, "Well, why can't we develop a vaccine for the cold?" Because it mutates so many different ways. It's not
rapidly.
Like the flu. The flu is much more, rapidly. The flu is much more predictable in how it mutates. And so we know kind of the strains generally that are going to be out there and going to be affecting people. The cold is just a whole other animal. And the COVID-19 was related to the cold. So,
just for
people, we're on variant B2.8753623X.
Square root of 9. Yeah.
But for the people that want to just say that the flu and COVID are the same thing and blah, 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 it's not, because the COVID can manipulate itself so much quicker than the flu. The flu is, like Steve said, they can guess it almost to the exact way it's going to. The thing that was weird about COVID in the beginning is that Omicron came out of, they maybe thought it was going to go right. It went left, and then it went sideways, and it went down, and then it went up, and then it was like, hey, look, we got symptoms of the common cold. And all the scientists were like, what the? Like, that wasn't supposed to do that. It was supposed to follow the pattern of this, and it didn't. It went over here. So
one of the theories that I've heard, John, actually in regards to that, was they think that the Omicron variant happened when COVID was passed through mice, and then mice transmitted it back to humans.
it's possible.
In a much smaller, concentrated form, where it was more
Science
contagious as opposed to pathogenic.
Science is amazing. I don't know much about that to even. I just know that it's amazing, and that wouldn't shock me.
It wouldn't shock me either.
I have a hard time believing that one.
I totally agree with that too. I find it hard to believe that something could be transmitted from humans to mice, and then mice back to humans in a much smaller, less contagious form. It's
time
weird.
frame that
in a quick time frame like that. Exactly.
That's bizarre.
Yeah,
that
is
makes
very
sense.
bizarre.
I have a question now. Could we have somehow adapted herd immunity quicker than we thought we would have? And maybe that's what did it? I think that would be more of a possibility.
That is certainly a very solid hypothesis. Very solid hypothesis for sure, Johnny. Absolutely.
That would be my
how
thought.
much immunity have we built up over the last 2.5 years of this thing?
I don't think that's it.
Now, it could,
I don't think that's it.
That's the
because,
thing. Yeah,
because it's each variation seems to be evading prior immunity because of the changes. I think first of all, for a virus to maximize its potential, it doesn't want to kill the host, because if you kill the host,
it has no interest in killing.
Right, so it got to a point where it could spread quickly, but it did less damage because it wants to survive. And the mutations, I think, just happened so quick that's why you saw Omicron and all that stuff. I don't think the immunity has anything to do with it, because people aren't immune; they keep getting COVID. People have gotten COVID 3, 4, 5 times at this point.
Times now. Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't call that being immune.
No, I'm not saying immune, but I'm saying there's levels of immunity, because obviously you would be dead if you had a very low level of immunity to it. I'm just saying maybe it went so fast that you got it, and you got it again, and you didn't even know you got it, and by the time you got it the third time, it wasn't as bad because it was that infectious. That's what I mean by the herd immunity. Like, it was just happening so fast. There was no way you couldn't go to the doctor that many times. By the time we got from COVID-19 to Omicron, you would have to live in the doctor's office to be able to map all of it. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it happened so fast.
Yeah,
that we don't know how it happened.
Yeah, that's still science, still yet to be determined and to figure out for sure. And it may take us like another 2.5, 3 years to fully understand this entire virus. But it's a shame that Pfizer didn't do this vaccine out of the goodness of their heart. I'm just so shocked by that.
Well, here's the other problem now is, by the time they get out the vaccine that's going to catch the current strains, we're already going to be beyond that. I mean, these things are going in like cycles of months, and it takes you 6 months to roll out a vaccine that's modified in the way you need it.
Faster than a clinical trial, if you stop to think about it. Really, a legit clinical trial could take multiple months, if not years, to pass through different phases. Steve, you're exactly right.
At this point, I think it's more like the flu vaccine. They don't have to go through a full-scale clinical trial. They have the base. They just have to, well, we need the H5N1 strain to be in this particular batch because that's what's going to be banned this year. Similar thing, I think. You got to cover the particular variations, but you have the base thing. So you don't have to do a full-blown one, but you still need to test it to make sure it works. It takes a little bit.
Takes a little bit. All right, Jen. So here we go with topic number 2, and already we're giggling because this is a great article that we found here for you guys. American Airlines passenger who demanded reparations for sitting between obese travelers.
Yeah, you said it wrong.
Hold on.
All right. Well, no,
Gets 100.
I think he was reading the article, right?
I'm reading the article, exactly. So, rewind. American Airlines passenger who demanded reparations for sitting between obese travelers gets $150. How about that? Ding, 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 ding. Right? I mean, at the end of the day.
Well, it was a credit. It was a credit.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't actually $150 cash.
Cold hard cash, baby.
Here's $150 to use on our shitty service again.
Exactly. A conservative commentator who received flack after she demanded repatriations from American Airlines for having to sit between two overweight passengers on a 3-hour-long flight, says she's been given a $150 voucher. Sydney Watson, who is an Australian-American political commentator, took to Twitter to share her discomfort on board a flight on October 10th, which she described as being literally wedged between two obese people. She said this, gents, quote, "This is absolutely not acceptable or okay. If fat people want to be fat, fine. But it is something else entirely when I'm stuck between you with your arm rolls on my body for 3 hours. I don't care if this is mean."
What a narcissistic point of view that was.
Seriously.
So if you want to be fat, it's okay to be fat, but don't be fat near me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. What the hell? "I don't care if this is mean. My entire body is currently being touched against my wishes. I can't even put the armrest down on either side because there's no effing room. If you need a seatbelt extender, you are too fat to be on a plane." End quote.
Pick me,
John,
pick me.
your thoughts
Pick
on
me.
this. Go for it. What do you got?
A day before that, I traveled in a shitty Ford Transit for 5 hours.
Were you next to an obese person?
Yes,
Did he
actually,
make you uncomfortable?
but no, he doesn't. He doesn't make me uncomfortable. He makes me laugh. He's not really that obese.
There you go.
Just messing with him. No,
There
but
you
like
go.
other people have to do things against their will for the betterment of their lives. Of course, she had to fly somewhere. If you're a political commentator and you're so hoity-toity, why didn't you fucking upgrade? Because you could have upgraded when you got on the plane. I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it, and I'm not rich by any means. I've seen my seat situation. Went on my American Airlines app because I don't want to be in seat 16 anymore. I want to be in seat 27. Bloop.
Mm-hmm.
Walk right there. My ticket changed on my. It doesn't matter. You can do shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
She just sounds like a pretentious asshole. Is what she sounds like.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Miss Watson, in one of the tweets, referred to one of the passengers as the fats, while saying that they are sweating on me. End quote. Steve, your immediate thoughts on this whole repatriations comment?
Her command of the English language makes me uncomfortable. Did she ever stop to consider, this fat person is touching me against my will? Did you also think that maybe you're also touching them against their will? I'm sure they're not happy about that you're touching them either.
Yeah.
There you go.
Suck it up.
Yeah. I mean, we've all had uncomfortable the three of us. We have all flown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I mean, John, why don't we start with you? Let's talk real quick on your worst travel experience on an airplane, shall we say. Go ahead. Why don't you just share that with the audience?
I've told you guys the best one already, so we won't even go there.
Yeah.
That's when I fluffed my wife's boob because I was sleeping on her. Like a pillow. I've told that story on the podcast before. I was on a flight from Dallas to Philly, and I was stuck in the middle seat, which that's where she was, and it is uncomfortable whether there's a tiny child next to you. The middle seat sucks, and you should not purchase the middle seat. You should always upgrade out of the middle seat. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing I learned. But next to me was a extremely tall gentleman. He was like 6'6", 6'7", Boom,
Oh,
on the
gosh.
aisle seat.
Oh,
Wearing a kilt, which was interesting. You never know what you're going to see.
you never know what you're going to see.
I've never worn a kilt. I'm pretty sure like there are religious reasons to wear them. There's reasons to, heritage reasons. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that was the thing that it kind of made me laugh because not only am I stuck, and it wasn't an uncomfortable ride, but I'm already in that mind frame of I'm stuck in the middle seat, and then some 6'7" dude sit next to me in a kilt, and I'm just like, well, it could have been not funnier, you know what I mean? It was just, and I sat there, and the flight was 3 or 4 hours, whatever it is, Dallas to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It wasn't super bad, but that's about
Still,
the worst I've had on a flight. Yeah.
There you go. Steve, same question to you. Any horrible travel?
I've been in the obligatory. I tend not to ride middle seat when I can. But even not middle seat, I've been in the situation where you're sitting next to somebody who is larger than the seat, comfortably accommodates. And, you kind of got to twist and hold the seat
like this and
adjust your body. I mean, it sucks, but the anger is more properly directed at the airline for trying to pack everybody in like sardines and not considering.
Yes.
But probably my most uncomfortable flight was I was coming back from Chicago and we had turbulence and I was near the back of the plane where I could see the restroom. But I was not allowed to get up and use the restroom, even though I had to piss like a racehorse.
Yes, because turbulence.
Yeah, that was not fun.
That's infuriating when it's not bad turbulence and you have to use the bathroom. That gets infuriating because you're like, dude, I'm 5'8". Like I used to weigh like 130 pounds. I'm now like 160. I still think I can make a shot to the bathroom and get on that toilet before the plane goes boop boop twice. You know what I mean? I'm not going to die from that. I understand, like, if it's an elderly person, you want to definitely, hey, please don't during turbulence. But yeah, that's infuriating when you have to pee.
I was in proximity where it would have been a quick hop, jump, in, out, back.
Close the door.
You probably could
back.
have peed from your seat.
Almost, yeah. I mean, if I directed it properly, yes. But yeah, so that was uncomfortable. Now, the best flight I've ever had, I was riding in coach, and I'm on the window seat. It's a 3 seat span. I'm sitting there, I'm watching people go by and go by and go by, and I'm like, nobody's gonna sit here. Go by, and sure enough, they closed the door. I had the whole thing to myself.
Hallelujah!
Now, I was nice. I was traveling with somebody from work, and I saw he was in a 3-seater and he was crunched, so I offered him the aisle seat. And
there you go.
Let's get over here. We can share the.
But
middle.
even still, you're comfortable because you've got that middle space in the middle there. Yeah.
Yes, but it was the joy of just seeing everybody walk by. I'm like, this seat is still unoccupied. This is amazing.
Happening.
That is literally the best feeling on a flight when you get on. That's why I always picked morning flights to fly. Like, I'm talking like 5:30. Like, I flew out of, no joke, I drove into Vegas at midnight. I went out with the guy I drove in with to a couple casinos. We gambled a little. We got decently wasted. Ate some big ass pizza. Got more drunk. I got into my hotel room. Put my bags in his room. Drank a cup of coffee, jumped in an Uber, and got on a flight, and it was the greatest flight ever because I got on, I walked all the way to the back of the plane, and there were 7 people on that flight home. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
We're not going to have to wait for shit. Like, I'm going to be asleep, because I'm drunk, I'm gonna be asleep in 35 seconds. As soon as they make the announcements, I'm out. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna get out of the plane in less than 12 minutes. I'm gonna have my bags. I'm gonna be on a train home within an hour. Like, this is the greatest day of my life. Because take the early flight.
What made this experience even better for me was the flight. I don't remember where it was but the flight to where I was going. I had a similar experience where I was in a 2-seater on the window. People are walking by. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to have the seat to myself. And at the last possible second, like as they were shutting the door, this woman like squeezes through and comes in and sits next to me. I'm like, shit. I was this close. So to actually get it on the way back was like...
Yes.
That's great. That's awesome.
Probably knowing the way that works is that was the lady that opened your luggage bin that you had like complete access to, and she shoved 17 things in there, so you knew you had to wait 25 minutes. I've been there. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, my out is screwed at this point.
Well, that's so funny.
No, what pisses me off more is when people like go back and shove their crap in the overhead bin, like 3 rows back. So, and that's where you're sitting, and you can't put your stuff where you are.
Yeah,
that infuriates me.
That's infuriating.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yes.
So mine. All right. So mine.
Yes.
I had these
this
very.
Is a good one.
This is really good because I had a job where I traveled to the Netherlands and basically was trained there and brought it back to the States. So it was a really cool opportunity, back office type work type of thing. And so my first flight overseas ever in my life.
Oh, this was the first flight over?
My first flight over.
Man.
This is
so
what makes
I
it
get
so
pegged.
epic.
I get pegged for the middle seat in the far back of the airplane. And to my left was a gentleman, much like John's guy, 6'6", very bony kind of guy. You know, he's very tall. He has his elbow kind of like half over the armrest. I'm like, okay, a little uncomfortable, not too bad. To my right was a woman who had a 2-month-old, and she was breastfeeding. So I was trapped. There was no place to go. I had no access to the aisle. And I was sitting there kind of going like, oh my gosh. And the guy, of course, who's 6'6", is like having himself a peek over there. I'm like, dude, like, come on. Like, give the woman some privacy for crying out loud. What's happening with you?
Yeah, while you're uncomfortably trying not look right. I'm not trying to look right, so I'm looking left, and this dude's looking
I'm trying to watch movies. I'm just like so focused on this. I'm not paying attention to
mind my own business. Yeah.
Business. I'm in my pod, you know, that kind of a deal. But that was a lesson to me. That was my first international flight. Every other international flight I took, gents, on the aisle. I was 100% on the aisle. Yep. I was in control. That was the reason why. I wanted to control the aisle. I could get up, go to the bathroom when I wanted, come back, sit down. I was captain of the row. I loved it. So that was huge for me. But that was my worst experience ever on an airplane. I've had a couple like rough landings here and there where it's like you feel those back engines fire. You're like, oh my gosh, you know, you're like bracing. But that by far was the worst. And it was 7 hours. It was 7 hours
that's
overseas.
A lot.
You know,
that's
like,
a lot.
lightweight.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You included Japan.
I was just going to say lightweight, right? Yeah, exactly.
14
hours for you. And you
at least
also,
I was in business
the next
class.
day you had and the next day you had a case, right? I think you had a case or something like that, didn't you?
We had client meetings.
Oh yeah, meetings. Okay, there you go. But get back to Cindy Watson here.
And
sorry,
her
you're a little
repatriation.
pretentious.
Are we talking about her now?
Like, join the club, sweetheart. I mean, come on. Join the club. Yeah. We all have gone through this before, and
Matt, I'll give you
have
one
the ability
more.
to move. Go for it.
I'll give you one more
it.
of this pretentious idiot. So as you guys know, we drive places, right? So I was on an airplane that was supposed to land in Vegas at 9 o'clock at night. I was supposed to meet my guy. This is years back. Supposed to meet him in Vegas. We were supposed to take a truck and drive to Arizona that same night. So we would get there about 1:30 in the morning, and we had a job in the morning, like 8 a.m. It wasn't a big deal. It was feasible to do. Well, life happens. His plane gets struck by lightning and can't leave Dallas. Mine can't enter Vegas because of tornadoes or wind things. So we land in California for 3 hours, and then we land in Vegas at 3:30 in the morning when my buddy landed at 3 in the morning. So we meet up at 4 in the morning, and guess what we still have to do? Drive to Arizona. It happens. It sucks.
Yeah.
You want to kick things. You want to yell. Just fall forward is my only advice to people. Don't be like her. Be like other people and fall forward.
Like,
it sucks. You don't need to ask for things. Shit happens. Get over it.
yeah, exactly. Exactly right. All right, gents. Well, let's continue on the train here in the third topic. And
Crazy
by
train.
I'm meaning, yeah, exactly, conservative train. This is a disturbing article. U.S. News and World Report. Yes, it is.
I demand
US News and World Report.
repatriations for that mispronunciation.
Love it.
I
Headline.
demand something because I didn't want to fucking see that. Jesus.
Too funny. Police. Campaign signs found booby-trapped with razor blades. What are you guys laughing about
I
over
just
there?
realized
What's
what John
happening?
was laughing at. I sent a text message before we went on, and I guess he just got it.
He just got it?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, all right, we'll
And
keep.
for some
we'll
reason,
do
I
an
can't
inside
stop
joke.
looking at it.
Well, for God's sake,
it's-
you guys are crazy.
It's for those, so it's not an inside joke. For those, I sent a text message.
Yeah.
It's a GIF of a hot dog eating himself.
We'll throw it up on screen. Why not?
There we go.
All
Yes.
right. Well, here we go. Now
All
that the
right.
third topic's been completely destroyed. No, I'm kidding. Police. Campaign
It's about
signs found
politics. How could it be destroyed?
that love it. Campaign signs found booby-trapped with razor blades, gents. This was found in southeastern PA in Newtown, Bucks County area. Political signs, doesn't say who. I'm sorry, it did say who. Josh Shapiro. Apparently, Upper Makefield Township Police said that they found a campaign sign for him placed without permission on somebody's property. While trying to remove it, the resident found that razor blades had been placed around the perimeter of the sign. Police said, quote, obviously this was designed to inflict punishment on anyone who attempted to remove the sign. And then later they inspected all campaign signs. They found razor blades placed around the perimeter of signs for two other Democratic candidates, John Fetterman and Ashley Ehas. Fetterman, of course, running for Senate. Ehas for U.S. House. Police said their investigation continues, warned residents to exercise caution removing the signs. Placed on their property without permission. That's the key phrase there. And then, of course, over the past election cycles, we have dealt with thefts of signs, vandalism, neighbor disputes. It's all from police. This latest act with the razor blades, totally unacceptable, disgusting. This type of depravity is unacceptable and criminal. We can do better and must, police said. End quote, gents. Steve, you brought this to our attention. I'm going to go for you for your reaction to this. This is crazy. Your thoughts, sir. What do you got?
You said booby. No, sorry.
Don't be sorry for being you.
Don't be sorry for that. Are you kidding me?
When I first saw the headline, it's kind of funny because I had just been at my parents' and my dad had told me he had had two signs stolen off of his lawn. And so when I first saw the headline, I thought perhaps it was somebody who was booby-trapping a sign to prevent people from stealing it. It's a little weird that somebody put the sign on somebody else's property without permission and booby-trapped it so it couldn't be removed. That's just freaking weird. I don't like campaign signs to begin with. I don't endorse candidates. I rarely, if ever, agree with a particular candidate on all issues, and so they don't deserve to have me marketing their name for them. I will vote for someone, but I'm not going to do your marketing campaign.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Although I will admit, in the 2020 election, I contemplated putting a sign up on my lawn that just said neither.
There you
I
go.
never did it, but
Never did.
never did. But I can sympathize with people who have their signs stolen, because it's I don't. Matt, you said your dad had signs. Do you pay for these signs, or do the candidates ask you to display them? So you have to pay.
You do. You do. Yeah.
So you're losing money if
somebody
takes it off your property.
Yep.
It's interesting because it's usually between, I guess with inflation, it's probably now up to $12, $15, who knows. But back in 2004, my father, of course, bought a few Bush Cheney signs, and I think he bought close to 8 of them because 7 of them were stolen off of our property. And the last one we placed was right in front of our front porch, like literally right in front of the house. So if anybody came on, of course, we have the automatic lights. It's a motion detection, so those lights will come on. And, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm out of here at that point. But yeah, I mean, he had them up front at the front part of the property, and people would just come in, and it didn't matter, like 10, 15 seconds, you just get out of the car, yoink, off you go.
So when somebody steals one of these, you are, losing value, which
absolutely.
I could understand. Maybe
in a way,
doing something to prevent it, but razor blades in the sign is not the answer. And whatever this psycho did by putting a sign on somebody else's property with razor blades on it, they are a complete lunatic and need to be locked up for a long time.
100%. I completely agree with that. John, what are your thoughts on this?
Just waiting patiently over here.
The dog is off the leash. Go for it, man. What do you got?
Yes, this is the politics that scare me. This I speak Matt knows and Steve knows. I talk about this a lot. My fear of American politics and how closely it resembles Venezuela. These are certain things that do that. When you take politics this seriously, people get hurt. This is not what politics is about. These are elected officials who we control. These aren't elected officials that control us. That is the difference. This isn't Masked Singer. This isn't American Idol. We do not idolize these people. You work for us.
Oh, can we please knock on wood for that?
These are games that shouldn't be played, because if you back somebody, and I don't care who it is, I don't care what candidate it is, if you back them with this is not a good road to be on. You need to judge politicians as much as you judge yourself. And you can quote me on that, because that is how I feel about life. Like, you cannot get into this weird media thing that was created with Trump and Biden and all that, and all these people that you need to worship these people. These people are less of worship. These people work for us.
Amen.
And these are games
said.
Can't be played. They can't be played.
Yeah.
This is dangerous.
Yeah.
This makes us look more like Venezuela than the United States. It really does.
Yeah. Oh, no question. I can remember just in the 2020 election, gents, it literally was probably about a half mile away from here by car. There was a gentleman that put out, and I'm talking like probably about the size of American flag. So we're thinking probably, I'm going to guess 3 by 5, 3 feet by 5 feet. I mean, it was a pretty good size Trump, Pence, make America great again, 2020, whatever, vote for, whatever. And he placed it in between two trees that were pretty much like parallel to each other, like literally side by side. And it was literally like right there. Well, obviously this guy had placed this sign there multiple times, placed it there once, someone of course stole it. So he put chicken wire around the sign and around the trees to prevent the stealing from taking place. So somebody then took a spray can and sprayed a gigantic red X across the sign. And I'm like sitting there going, like, how juvenile do we have to be with these stupid signs? I think they're like deer. Like when they get killed on the road, you can't help but like, oh my God, you just see them and it's like, I can't stand them anymore. It's so utterly ridiculous. It is like you're broadcasting your vote to everybody out there for the express purpose of why? What's the purpose behind it? To show support? You show support, to John's point, by voting them into office. And you keep your mouth shut and you just let it happen at the ballot box. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. But I think they're a plague. And I would love to see them get eliminated from every highway and every driveway in America. I would just love that.
Every bumper sticker, every
bumper
single...
sticker. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I hate election season for that reason.
Yep.
It's just a cold reminder of how divided we actually are.
Mm-hmm. And I think as a way to unify us, Johnny, I would put this out there. Let's have a bonfire where we throw all of these stupid signs in and just burn them to death. I mean, I think that would be the greatest party people would love to have.
Except for the ones with razor blades, because I don't want to burn aluminum.
I was actually going to say the chicken wire thing with Matt. As long as that's visible, I think that's okay.
It's kind of genius.
That's okay.
It's kind of genius, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you the danger is seen. The problem with these razor blades is they're putting them kind of hidden in the edges of the sign, and you don't know they're there until they've already sliced through your friggin' finger.
And that's our problem.
If you have to protect one of these dumbass signs, do it at least in a way where the person has a chance to walk away uninjured.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's a Two Noobs service announcement right there.
Exactly right. Yep. Did you have a good sip of water there?
I did. It was ice cold. It was good. I give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up? There you go.
Thumbs up.
Love it. I love it.
Oh, well, John's giving the double barrel.
There you go. Got the double barrel going. I love it. You guys crack me up. I love it. Well, close it out. 108, gents. Here we go. Well, do you guys want Gritty to show up at your next party?
Hell yeah.
No, but yes.
No, but yeah. Okay.
John just doesn't want to pay for it.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't want to pay
so
for
we
him.
found this very interesting article here from phillyvoice.com. He's not creepy. He's the greatest mascot of all time.
You better keep one eye open when you sleep, Mr. Tracy.
Sleep bird. Yeah, exactly. This is very interesting. This phillyvoice.com article, gents, they rate, or it wasn't a rating system, but basically just from cost, how much would it cost to have Gritty show up at a party, to have the Fanatic show up at a party, Swoop, all those guys? Mm-hmm. Gritty was the highest, and it's not even close, gents. If you want Gritty to show up for an hour, it's $3,000 minimum. $3,000
worth every penny.
There you go. There you go. There is on the Flyers website. There is a Gritty.
I expect him at the Torn ACL Draft next year.
That would be great. That is an unbelievable idea. That is fantastic.
We can chip in. We all do well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's a Gritty appearance application on the Flyers site and on the Flyers website. As things
filling it out right now.
The only way to book the googly-eyed hero for a private function is to purchase a group ticket package to one of the games. So I don't know if you have to necessarily buy tickets to a Flyer upcoming.
Yeah, that's
Flyers game or
exactly
something
what
like
that says.
Oh,
You're not even
not
in
too
the
good.
running unless you're a fan.
very interesting here too. There's no breakdown of the actual cost online, but someone did reach out to the Flyers to figure out, okay, how much is it legit? $3,000? And he said, yes, it did start at $3,000 per hour, gents. I mean, that's crazy.
That's on top of the
suppliers
ticket
even-
package. Yeah. That's on top of the ticket
Yeah.
package and the fact that they need to probably screen you because they have you already in that. So they already know who you are. Like they're just not they're just not gonna throw Gritty out at the wolves. Thank God, because he's
No.
I mean he's precious. So we can't.
Yeah.
we
Beloved
can't-
icon. Yeah.
Yes, we can't kill him.
We can't just have some random boob, to get him to appear at their party. They could be out to get him. He needs. That's
Yeah,
why
not
he's
only
got
that,
bodyguards.
He's not only the most beloved, but he was involved in a WWE storyline back in the. I mean, just recently, right, Johnny?
Recently,
with Extreme
yeah.
Rules, the last pay-per-view.
He beat the hell out of
thinking-
Miz.
I mean, for God's sake.
Well, who doesn't
I
want to do that?
I mean, I'm all for anybody who wants to beat the hell out of Miz, but good on Miz that he would even at this level of his career would be like, mascot could just kick the crap out of me. I like you, Mike Mizzana. Good job.
Yeah,
You're a smart guy.
Is that pay-per-view in Philadelphia?
Yep.
it was. Yeah,
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
it
that's
was.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It was all
Gritty's so
backstage
new on the scene.
in Gritty's area.
In
They
Gritty's
were
area.
walking
Oh,
through
right.
Gritty's area. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did he take him in? Did they still have that rage room? Did he take him in the rage room and beat him in there?
No. This was in the hallway, like out to the ice
Yeah.
where you've seen Gritty before, like that
Right.
kind of hallway. Yeah, he beat him up in the hallway
It's awesome.
Nice.
after Mrs. Foe or whatever
Yeah.
was stalking him or whatever, and Gritty kind of laid a couple licks in afterwards. Smart.
It was awesome. Gritty, of course, so new on the scene, gents. The organization, Flyers, hasn't even had time to come up with a fee schedule. He's already made more than 100 appearances, gents, outside. And this is a 2-year-old mascot. I mean, it's just he's so incredibly popular.
It's way more than that now. I mean,
Is it?
2018. It's probably 4 years
Yeah.
now.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
Time
that's right,
flies,
because
man.
of the Stadium Series. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next closest was the Fanatic, John's boy. The Philly Fanatic. You can basically, he's the elder states mascot of the Philly market, gents. How about that?
He is.
They can be made at his offices at Citizens Bank Park with stunning regularity. Go Phils, by the way, Red October. Because of this demand, the big green being can't really commit to events much more than a month ahead of time. Going rate is $600 an hour for the Fanatic. Guest of
That's much more
honor,
reasonable.
gallivants. Yeah, exactly. With the guest of honor gallivanting up to about 40 minutes. So you're basically paying for that 40-minute time window for him to show
All right,
up and he's there.
I'm taking John's credit card number now. And I'm gonna do a
Franklin.
double booking here.
There you go. How about we triple book? We go triple book with Franklin, the Sixers mascot, gents. He also has a appearance
Who we don't
request
hate.
list. No.
He's a good
Much
mascot.
better than hip hop.
He's a
Much
good
better
mascot.
than hip hop, right?
Absolutely.
Hip hop
He's a
would
good
have
mascot.
to pay me to appear at my
Yes.
function.
But
How
then
much-
who would pay? Then who would pay for hip hop steroids?
Okay. He gets those for free from
that's
who's that? Who's the Balco guy?
Oh, yeah. Barry Bonds? No.
No. The
Oh,
guy,
yeah,
the
no,
guy
the
who
guy-
worked at
the
The
Balco.
guy who was
Yeah.
implicated? Yeah.
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 Mm.
Whatever his name was.
If you know who he is, comment below.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
know who he is, comment below. On the,
He
on the
probably
comments there.
knows. He probably knows hip hop well.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
was a chiseled and jacked bunny rabbit.
Could you imagine you have to be the one to stick that needle in his ass? Ugh.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. But speaking of Franklin, gents, he has got, of course, an appearance request list along with the team's dancers, dunk squads, and others. No price listed on the page for the request, but Franklin the Dog's people let us know that his appearance fee runs anywhere between $450 and $650 per hour, subject to change.
So you just said that pays for not just him, but also dancers and dunk. Wow.
Yeah.
So you actually get pretty
you
good
get
deal
the
for
whole shebang there, yeah. Exactly.
And their entertainment at the Sixers games are great. They do a hell of a job. They are phenomenal.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but get the Swoop now.
Swoop, who I want to equate to the Sidney Watson. He's like the most pretentious mascot. You know, kind of like the most pretentious.
I hate Swoop. In so many ways.
Eagles mascot, has his very own appearance request form for events ranging from corporate gatherings and grand openings, fundraisers, social events. General fee is of $400, $200 if you're a nonprofit per hour, of course.
Okay, that's good.
But here's the pretentious
thanks
part.
For the discount.
Yeah, exactly. He's required to take a 15-minute break and can only appear in costume for 25 minutes before taking that 15-minute break, gents.
Because
so
that
exactly
costume's
are you
absurd.
paying?
That costume's absurd because it's not a normal mascot. That thing is, it's like made out of leather. It's so weird. Like, he looks weird. To get the color, they had to use it's so weird. I don't like
Steve
it.
and I went to the.
I want to take this opportunity. I want to take this opportunity to reiterate my love for inflatable Swoop over regular Swoop.
Inflatable Swoop is amazing.
There you go.
I would love to have inflatable Swoop at the Torn ACL Draft next year. I need an appearance fee for that.
Would he fit in your basement?
I think he could fit if he just stood still, but you kind of like to see him bouncing, and that might.
The bouncing is the cool part. Yeah.
Yes.
That's hilarious. When Steve and I went to the Stadium Series game, the Penguins Flyers game, John, Swoop was there, and he scared the living daylights out of a Penguins fan that was probably about the size of like a 4-year-old. Gave him nightmares, which was great, but at the same time, it was like,
it's also rude
as well.
Yeah.
Well, it is rude. Yeah, exactly. He was just like, apparently he was trying to flap his wings, and that scared the kids. So, I mean, well, there you go. So, way to go, Swoop. You scared somebody. Gave him nightmares.
I don't like
they
Swoop
were
at
Penguin
all.
fans, so who cares?
But I don't understand.
It was kind of,
But I just don't like Swoop. Like, it's just bow out. Yeah. We don't need a mascot. We're fine. We got a football team. We don't need a mascot. We didn't have a mascot.
We don't need a mascot.
Why do we need a mascot now?
No.
I don't understand.
What is the appearance fee for the Blue Blob?
That's a good question.
We do not know.
Not listed on the article. Not listed on the article
that's
at
not
all.
a Philly mascot, I guess. So.
Yeah, I guess not. No.
Oh, well.
There is Fang, who is part of the Philadelphia Union.
Mm-hmm.
Also has a mascot appearances on his site. After confabbing with the event organizer about issues ranging from date, time, and location to whether the Mohawked snake will have a changing room all its own, they check schedules to ensure Fang won't be occupied at a union match. If all things go right, Fang is there for $250 an hour, $250 an hour, or $125 for a nonprofit organization. And then the last one is Wingston, who's Philadelphia Wings.
Whoever that
it doesn't really say. Yeah, it's just some blob or whatever. But $3,000 for Gritty. I mean, that's like far away.
That's steep. That's steep.
That's like, the Fanatic. What is it, like 4 times over? I mean, that's crazy.
More than that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts.
I can't believe people actually go for that. I mean, this is not like. I love Gritty, but Gritty is not 4 times more worth than the Fanatic. I gotta just think the Flyers just had no idea what they were doing when they set like appearance fees, and they just like, oh, how much for it? I don't know, $3,000. And some idiot, was like, yeah, sure.
I mean, but it's all because of that one tweet. That was it.
Yeah,
that really launched that career.
Yeah,
I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
So
really
just
amazing.
to round this
Go
up,
ahead, John,
the blue blob
Oh God!
For private
Here we go.
off-campus requests are subject to appearance fees that start at $300, which goes to the cost of the expense of travel and other needs of Butler's Blue Live mascot program. So that's from the website. So it's $300. Starts at $300. So it could, if he's got to travel a lot, it might be $1,000. It could be $3,000.
All right. Well, that's
So if he goes to like Southern Jersey, that's probably going to be like, okay, you got to pay for the
probably,
tolls and all that shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
all right. So that's in line with the rest of the mascots minus Gritty. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fnatic probably has a little bit more, I guess you could say, like history. Obviously, has more history than all those.
Look at total
guys
clout
combined,
in this city. Like,
heck yeah.
Fnatic could charge whatever he wants.
Absolutely.
Now that I know the cost of the blue blob, that's what's going to wake John up tomorrow morning.
There we go. Remember, I live in Texas. That's all I have to say.
That's fine. I'm not the one driving. I don't care.
Exactly. Oh man. Well, I guess we ought to close out our episode, gents. Episode 108 of Two Noobs Talking we've hit the end of the episode, gents. But I think, John, you've got a special message before we get the hell out of here for one Tom Brady, right?
Yeah, so you put me on screen. Am I going straight on screen here?
Hell yeah, why not?
And by myself. Okay. I mean this, so I wanna make sure I have the right words. The story came out that Tom Brady decided that he was going to have a conversation with media reporters that said that his job was a lot like military deployment, and it stuck with me all week, and I just wanna say a couple words about this. An entitled athlete that has lived in a generation of ESPN that never has to deal with failure and always deals with the success of the highlights has absolutely no idea what he's talking about when he talks about military deployment. Military deployment is not something where you're asked to do or you sign a contract for and they give you more money to go to a different city. They tell you where to go and you do what they want you to do. And a lot of that results in loss of life or families that lose very important people in their lives because of deployment, and it has nothing to do with sports. And the fact that he would use his platform to correlate one thing that we should be hanging around on Sundays and cheering about to something that maybe we shouldn't be putting the viewership in because they have no idea how to entertain us or do anything. That's what kind of sticks with me because Tom Brady has no clue what he's talking about. And he should probably just stick to playing quarterback. It might be a good thing.
I want to think about retiring too. Just FYI on that too. I think it's time for him to go. And
I wish I could retire
into the
42.
sunset. Yeah.
We always knew he was a douche.
Yeah. At the end of the day. Yeah. It's a
By
good
the
thing
way,
we
John,
beat him in Super Bowl 52.
Yeah, right. John, athlete is not a three-syllable word. Athlete, no, it's not.
Sometimes it's a tongue twister.
Repatriations.
True.
With that being said, we're going to go back and reread how to read words. But until then, let's go ahead and close out episode 108 with some shameless plugs, as we always do. Johnny, where can people find us out there on the internets and socials and things?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
love it,
Clapper, and TikTok. Short videos that lead
Instagram.
us to...
That's our main YouTube channel, Two Noobs Talking, of course. Like, share, subscribe, get notified when our episodes drop, Wednesdays at 7. Check us out on Instagram as well. On the Audible side, Steve, where can people listen?
On the Audible side, people can listen to us on Podbean. which gets us out all over the interwebs to whatever kind of podcasting software you want to use. So we are on Google Podcast, Amazon Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Cowboys suck. Apple Podcast, I Have Your Chihuahua, let's talk. Samsung Podcast, and Spotify, who I want repatriations from.
There you go.
Yes, me too.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Episode 108 is in the books. It's on to 109 next week. Until then, everyone, hope you all have a great week, and we will talk to you next week. Take care.
Thumbs up.